And we're live. We're live. We have arrived. We are live. So the last time I checked, they were giving 6 to 8 inches of snow, 8 to 12, 30 feet of snow. Yes, I think 30 feet of snow is headed to the Shenandoah Valley. 35 feet of snow, give or take. I mean, these aren't exact numbers by any stretch of the imagination, but they're close.
4 to 8. Oh, wait.
48 inches of snow is coming to the Shenandoah Valley. In case you're no.
8.
Oh, 4 to 8 inches of snow is coming.
And then 8 to 12 in other locations.
And then 8 to 12 in other locations. 812 inches of snow is coming to the Shenandoah Valley. That's a lot of snow. No, seriously, we have a lot of snow coming tomorrow morning. It's supposed to hit at 7. And we put our grocery shopping off because we like that. And we're going tomorrow morning at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning to get our grocery shopping in because a blizzard is a brewing. It's coming up from the Gulf and meeting the cold air. And then you get a nor'easter, one of those. It's going to get crazy out here, man. It's going to be a big snow. There's going to be 300 feet of snow here in this area. 300 feet of snow. We're talking about ice age. We're talking about apocalypse. We're talking about stuff like that. Now, listen, how are you? This live stream is going to be much better if you participate. You got to participate. You got to talk because a blizzard is brewing. Are you in the blizzard zone? We are in the blizzard zone. Strong's Adventures. Billy, what's up? Hope you got milk and bread. That's for tomorrow morning, Billy. We're going to get our milk and bread. Of course, they won't have any. We have milk and bread here, though. We're good. Debbie Paints, time for, what does it say? Time for y'all to turn into preppiers. You know, here's the thing. We are sort of turning into preppiers, I think. Yes. We're going out tomorrow at like 7 o'clock or something. We're getting up early. What time?
6, 8. We're leaving at 5:30.
We're leaving at 5:30. We're leaving at 5. Wow, that's early.
I'll leave without you.
That is early. We're going 5:30 grocery shopping. They're going to be buying a lot of bacon and a lot of eggs and a lot of biscuits. All right, people. We got to talk it up. We got to chat it up tonight. We're talking about snow in the Christmas season. Are you hung up on having snow during the Christmas season? I am. I always think that it's the worst. I don't mind rainy Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's fine. But if it's bright and sunny, even if it's cold, it feels weird. I don't know why. It's just odd. It's just very odd. Tell us what you think about your favorite Christmas weather. Here in the Shenandoah Valley, we are supposed to get, they've changed it every day like they always do. 4 to 6, 3 to 12, 10 to 15. I don't know. It just changes constantly. I'm thinking we'll get 4 to 6 inches. I think it'll be a good solid snow. And by Christmas, it'll probably be gone because we're like 10 days out from Christmas. So probably be gone, be real pretty for a minute. Early bird preppers. Look at y'all. That's right. We are early bird preppers. Actually, Carolyn's the early bird prepper. I just tag along if it's early in the morning. In case you haven't watched any of our other videos, I'm not a morning person. Big Frog Barbecue and Cooking. Howdy, Mr. Bill. You know, normally, Big Frog, I always respond to comments on videos, and I saw yours, and I just hit the heart button because I was, like, so behind, so I do apologize. I think I did Wanda that way earlier today as well. I could not get to that comment. I do apologize. Justin Thornton is in the house. What's up? Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to Bill Marion, a nose for life. Carolyn Marion has entered the chat. She has entered the chat. So, Justin, what are you doing to prepare for Snowpocalypse 2020? Billy at Strong Adventure says, my friend Helga is expecting 24 inches of snow in Pennsylvania, and it is likely they'll get it tonight. Man, this system does look pretty nasty. Like, they went from like 80% chance of snow to 100. It's like, yes, dude, it's going to snow this time. Of course, I've seen weathermen lie before. Debbie Pate says, where I am, we have actually had snow on Christmas, but many years it's short sleeves weather. Well, it always was for us in Southeast Tennessee. It did occasionally turn the ground white, occasionally on Christmas. Most of the time, though, January, February, and of course, everyone in the Deep South remembers the blizzard of '93. We always have to talk about it when we talk about any snow down in Southeast Tennessee. You have to bring up the blizzard of '93 because it was terrible. Christopher Hines is back in the house. Good to see you, Christopher. Christopher says, I don't mind the snow, but in Colorado, it can be snowy at 32 or sunny at 75. We experienced that. I've seen both there. We experienced that. So sad, Justin. Oh, that was Carolyn's comment. Strong's Adventure says, hey, Big Frog. And now the salutations in the room begin. I never know what to do when everybody's salutating each other. Salutating, that's probably not a word. No, have you salutated your friends yet? Probably doesn't sound.
That's weird.
That is weird. I don't know where that was going.
Oh.
Is everybody salutating in the chat room? I don't know. We're trying to hurry and get this chat in before midnight. We're trying not to go there tonight. That was a lot of fun. Carol and I were like, I don't think anybody was really enjoying that segment last night as much as we were when we were talking about the restrictions here, the regulations in Virginia between 12 and 5. Billy said, Strong Adventure said, that does sound weird. Yes, I am salutating all my friends in the chat room because it's healthy, it's friendly. Oh, yeah, Debbie Paint says, blizzard of 93. Everybody knows about the blizzard of 93, man. The way people make it sound, and it was bad because the South never gets snow, and in the blizzard of 93, there was like 900 inches of snow fell, and so it was bad. It looked like a blizzard. I was going to say, you're near Gadsden, Alabama. Yeah, Gadsden, Alabama. So you're not far from the epicenter of the snowstorm of 93, the blizzard of 93. It was pretty bad. I remember going down our road. We used to live in Cleveland back in the day, Cleveland, Tennessee. And we were driving, not Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland, Tennessee. We were driving, we had to drive back roads because the interstate through that area was closed. And it was pretty bad. Looked like it's a tornado had hit the whole area. All the trees were down and whatnot. Big Frog cooking nearly 2 feet of snow in the blizzard of 93. Is that right? About 2 feet of snow? And here's the funny part. The next week was spring break for a lot of us. And so I was home because I think I was 18 or I was 19, and I was home during the post 93 blizzard scene, and it was warm as all get out the next week in typical East Tennessee fashion. It was nice. Notice I said warm as all get out, showing you that I am from Southeast Tennessee, right there. I talked to my buddy Nathan from we both grew up in Cleveland. He lives in Knoxville now, and it's funny. Talking to him just takes me back, just the accent alone, because he still lives in East Tennessee. And my accent is still pretty much mountain East Tennessee, that kind of way. But just listening to him talk, I was like, yeah, that's home. That's what home sounds like. Debbie Pate says, our own James Spann.
She hit the typo. He hit the forecast on the head.
Hit the forecast on the head for a week. The other guy said no snow. Paul Barris got it in Chattanooga. Paul Barris nailed the blizzard of 93. He absolutely nailed it. He said, look, this is going to be a bad one. And he nailed it. I did a video a couple years ago about if you take one day of the year, and mine was Christmas Day, or New Year's Day. I can't remember. It's one or the other. And kind of just show what the weather is on that day of the year over a 50-year time period. What kind of data can you get from that? And it turns out not a whole lot. You can't get a whole lot of meaning out of that at all. But I had to bring up the blizzard of 93 because it was in March. It was unseasonable. So if you took a day in March there in that year, it would be such an anomaly because most of the time in East Tennessee, matter of fact, even when Carol and I met, which was the same week as the blizzard of 93, but years and years later, we were swimming in Chilhowie, Tennessee, over in Polk County when we met. Both weekends, we were up there with our kids, and we were swimming, laying out in the sun, and that's what it was like in March. But that one year, we got a crazy, crazy snowstorm. Debbie Paint says back in 93, in the blizzard of 93, she said they had 4-foot snow drifts. Wow. That was a lot of water. One of the things that shocks me is that there wasn't a lot of flood after all that. You don't remember a lot of water damage from what I understand, from what I remember. By the way, if you're just joining us, be sure to hit that thumbs up button while you're here. Thanks for joining us. And I'm your host, Alex Trebek. I'm just kidding. I'm not Alex Trebek. He's departed. He's deceased, and he had hair. But what is a nose for life? That would be fun, is to play Jeopardy on your YouTube channel. That would be a lot of fun. Like you have your own, but I'm sure there's trademark infringements there and whatnot. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope you're doing great. I hope everything is pleasing for you in this Christmas madness. Everybody's busy going out to eat, hanging out in the mall. Okay, none of that's happening. None of that's happening. It's 2020, and you're watching a live stream with me because you know what? There's nothing good on TV, and I'm awesome, right? That is why you're here. That is why you're here. It's funny because somebody had gone to the mall recently here in Harrisonburg. Harrisonburg Mall is one of those, I don't know, late 80 malls. I don't know when the Harrisonburg Mall was built, but it was built a long time. It's an older mall, and people still frequent the mall. You know, they still hang out there a little bit. There's walkers. We've got mall walkers. And when you go to the mall over there, there's still people there in their face mask hanging out and stuff. Billy at Strong Adventure says, I just remember a lot of ice that year. We were trying to get to the amusement park rides and put back together so we could open up for the season. So Billy, let me ask you a question. Did you own that amusement park? Because I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, or were you working at, which amusement park was that? Because I'm just curious, because that's really cool. A lot of times now, amusement parks everywhere are finding ways to stay open all year round. I don't know if anybody's picked up on that. We were at Hershey Park last winter. We made a video about it that nobody watched, kind of like my last video. And while you're in here, let me do some scolding. Let me pause that I was going to talk about amusement parks and just say this. Where were y'all at on my last video? Where were y'all at? It came out this morning. Wasn't a live stream, I know. But it was a video about the Christmas star. Come on, man. It only has like 42 views. You killing me. You're hurting me. I'm just kidding. Thanks. If you get time, go by and watch it. Anyway, Christopher Ryan says, we had a blizzard in 03 where I was snowed in at work. The oncoming guards could not make it out of the driveway. I was locked in the prison for 32 hours. Oh, gosh. Big Frog Barbecue and Barbecue Cooking says, I watched it. Yes, you did, Big Frog. You are my hero. Big Frog's like, I took a grenade for the team. I watched it. Yeah, it's anyway, amusement parks. We were at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania this time last year. And we went to the little Hershey factory. It was so cold. I mean, for us, because we're still getting used to the weather up here. It was 30 degrees up in Harrisburg, which is not to be confused with Harrisonburg. It's about 2.5 hours north of here. We get out there, and I mean, the wind would just cut you into many, many pieces. And the amusement park, believe it or not, was open, which was crazy, but it was. And then, of course, Hershey does this thing with Christmas lights out in the country, too. You have to drive a little bit to get there. And we loved it. The Christmas lights was fantastic. The park, as I mentioned the other night, was cute for kids. Like, it's a place to take your grandkids. It's a place to take your kids. It's not something for adults, you know. There's lots of merchandise there. I mentioned all this, so let me just skip through it and say it's okay. I would like to have gone to the park, but I think Carol and I would have frozen. I think, Carol loves roller coasters. Could we have handled it? It was 28 degrees, 30 degrees that day.
No, because I remember telling you I don't think I can do right. Like on the drive up, I was like, yes, right. And when we got there and got out of the truck, I was like, I don't think I can do this because it was so cold and the wind would pierce you. The
wind would cut you in half. Billy Strong's Adventure says Hamill's Amusement Park. I got to look that up later. In Shreveport. Been to Shreveport many times. It closed down in 1999. I worked there for 15 years. And so, but I've never been to that amusement park, Hamill's Amusement Park. That's pretty cool. Man, back when Walt Disney opened up Disneyland, it was such a success. There were people everywhere opening up amusement parks, trying to get some of that same action going on. And of course, amusement parks, it's not like Walt Disney invented amusement parks by any stretch of the imagination. He didn't invent amusement parks, but what he did do was made them look really awesome. Strong Adventure says it's a church now. Man, there's a sign in that for you, Billy. There's a sign. There's a sign. I can make all kinds of comments and offend both church people and non-church people with those comments about a roller coaster in church. I really could, because there's just so many funny things that you could say about that from which I will refrain. That and ending my sentences with prepositions. I shall not end my sentences with prepositions. My wife is incredibly sleepy tonight. She is absolutely sleepy. I came home from the church this afternoon. I come inside. I lay my laptop case down and all this stuff. I'm like, honey, I'm home. And I thought she was going to like throw something at me right then and there. Like, I'm sleeping. Carolyn is incapable of sleeping ever in the middle of the day. And when she does, it's not pretty. It's not pretty because she goes into a deep sleep. It's not a nap. It's not a nap at all. But then she woke up and proceeded to cook one of the greatest dinners that we've had in a while. It was so good. It was delicious. It's like these breaded pork chops in this stuff, and I don't know what it's called, but it's really good. It's really good. So you guys are not talking my head off tonight. So I'm assuming that the blizzard's already hit where you live apparently, and you're getting scared, and that's why you're tuning in to hear a weather report. Well, in case you missed it, we're supposed to get 35 inches of snow here in Virginia. 35 inches, maybe 45. I don't know. It's a lot. And then after the snow, a layer of 6 inches of ice, and after that 6 inches of ice, 35 more inches of snow. It's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. Lake Winnipesaukee is a great park. Debbie Paints. Now listen. Listen now, Debbie. Let's talk about it. All right, first of all, I love having you in the chat room. You are always welcomed here among us in the Nose for Life chat family. But we don't lie in the chat room.
No, I mean, I had a good memory there with the kids.
I think that's what Debbie, I'm sure that's what she means. There's a nostalgic aspect. If you're from the Chattanooga area, there's a nostalgic aspect about Lake Winnipesaukee, but that place is dangerous and evil. And evil's not the right word. It's just
right. The big white roller coaster, man. That thing goes so fast, it's scary.
There's nothing holy about Lake Winnipesaukee, man. Lake Winnipesaukee is scary. Yes, Christopher Hines, it is the snowpocalypse. That's what I've been calling it, the snowpocalypse. I got the light turned off behind me now, and I think it looks better. My eyes still look dark. Carolyn says that I should not bring up the darkness around my eyes. She says, there's no sense in pointing out something negative about yourself. And I'm like, look, man, it's like, it's shtick. Hey, Bill, would you do a video about Opryland? I'm sorry. Maybe that's just between me and Billy right there. I think that's a splendid idea, Billy. I think what an idea. Boy, I do that video differently. One thing's for sure is it's been a little cash cow for this channel because it's a long video. That was back when I made 35-minute epics, and because that's what people had been doing on YouTube when I got onto YouTube. But I was still kind of clueless on telling the story, and so there's things I would definitely do different, and some things that I would do the same. Debbie says, you're an awesome hubby, commending your wife for a great meal. Well, that's because she only cooks about once every 6 months.
That's not true.
I know it's not, but that's because most of her food tastes terrible, Debbie. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing. Carolyn can cook. Carolyn cooks well. She's looking right at me. I've got to say this. Carolyn cooks very well, and she does a great job. So I'm always going to support my baby when it comes to cooking. Just went for the first time last year to Lake Winnie. They must have added a whole lot of stuff because back in the day, well, you had some stuff there. You had this water ride where you could catch Ebola. And what else do they have there? They had a house of mirrors, and
they had the paddle boats.
They had paddle boats that you'd have a heart attack while you were trying to paddle around the water. And they had other stuff. Why am I drawing a blank to this? I used to work at a hotel there off Shallowford Road, and the people at Lake Winnie would come by and give us tickets. And so I took the whole family. D-Lo was in the house. What's up? The Cannonball. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't.
Is that the white one?
Is that the white roller coaster down there? I have no idea.
The wooden white one. That's what he's talking about. That was the fast one that goes so fast it's scary because it shakes you like crazy.
I don't remember any of these roller coasters.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember them for some reason. I'm drawing a blank. Lake Winnie, I think Carolyn and I went back in 2006. I think it was that long ago. It's 2006.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
I think it was before we actually moved into our house, our new home. Debbie Pate says, but then again, on the parks, I seriously dislike Disney. No, Disney, you know what? Disney is, some people like it. Most people, I would say this, most people like it, but a lot of people don't. I've met a lot of people that don't like Disney. They're like, look, I just don't like it. We do love Disney. Disney, I will say this, the last trip we had in 2016 wasn't a good trip. And there were some things about Magic Kingdom that time, Animal Kingdom. There were some things, the direction that they were going that I wasn't a huge fan. There is a Busch Gardens up here, D-Lo, I guess 2.5 hours away. Mm-hmm. And we're dying to get up there. And it's supposed to be like, of the 2 Busch Gardens or 3 or how many ever there are, I have no idea. It's supposed to be a real good one. I don't know, whatever that means. And so we want to get up there. We would have gone up there this summer, but for obvious reasons, we had to miss because nobody was there. They had it closed down. King's Dominion is a good amusement park. We have been to King's Dominion. Went there last summer. It was nice. It was good. Carolyn liked it. I think Six Flags is better. Don't you think so, Carolyn? Six Flags over Georgia, King's Dominion.
The Six Flags is better.
That part of Virginia is hot. which is weird. That part of Virginia will almost remind you of Florida as far as what it looks like and stuff. It's just hotter over there than it is here. We live on the edge of the Alleghenies. We're in the Shenandoah Valley, so you got nice breezes, and the temperatures just don't get as high. That's over on the Virginia Peninsula. And so they get a lot of hot weather over there. It's usually hotter in Washington, D.C. than it is where we're at here in this part of Virginia. D-Lo, Tampa is the one I've been to. That's what I was figuring because of Florida and all that stuff. But I've heard the one in Tampa is amazing. So Carol, that's one of her favorite parks too. D-Lo says, get the meal pass. It's worth it. I've heard that too. That's almost becoming the norm. Even at Six Flags, when we were there, I don't know if it's there now, you could buy a meal package with your time. We went at Christmas to Six Flags. And we did it. We loved it so much the first year. We planned for it the second year and had just the same time. We had a great time. It was a wonderful time to go. I can't remember how it worked. The first year it was warm, it was almost shorts weather at Christmas because it's Atlanta, And the second year it was freezing. It was absolutely cold. But they still have this huge nativity scene that's lighted, and it's real beautiful out there. And then you can take a little ski lift over the nativity scene. It's kind of cool. If you guys live near Atlanta, I recommend, if you get the Christmas blues, after Christmas, you're like, okay, it's over, I'm sad. Make a plan, make plans to do something different. Man, I enjoyed that thoroughly. Making plans to go do something fun.
It was about to become a yearly tradition.
It was about to become we had made a decision as a family. We shall do this every year after Christmas. But we moved. So the second year was the next year we were in Virginia. Billy at Strong's Adventure says, I didn't have any interest in the Disney parks until I started watching Sir Willow's channel. Sir Willow's. That sounds familiar, but I can't place it right now. Debbie Paint says, there is a water park in Alabama called Spring Valley Beach. Spring Valley Beach. That place is awesome, but I don't care for over-commercialized parks. I don't know that one. D-Lo says, lit. I get we'll have to talk about that because there's exceptions to lit and lighted, because I actually have a video about that, D-Lo, because it'll mess you up because you have a lighted stage, you have a lit stage, and yeah, we'll talk later. Because I had all those rules down and then it got messed up. Billy at Strong's Adventure says Silver Dollar City and Dollywood are my favorites because I really like the theming. Here's the thing. I don't care for just amusement parks. And one of the things that I had an issue with the King's Dominion was I like theme parks. I like a theme park, and I love Dollywood. And what's funny is when I resisted Dollywood because I thought it was just an amusement park. But there's a theme there. King's Dominion, they're struggling for their theme. They used to have a Hanna-Barbera thing going on, and it was kind of cool with Kings Island over in Cincinnati, which is another awesome theme park. Been there a couple of times. A fantastic park. But I love a theme park. And does Busch Gardens have a theme? Flowers? Get it? Gardens? No.
I'm pretty sure they did. It's been years since I've been there. We used to go on field trips.
Yeah, I don't know that Busch Gardens has a theme. D-Lo, I wouldn't give it to me yet or not. It's one of those I could have got it wrong, but what's messing me up with lit and lighted and lit and litted is litted one of them. It's litted. D-Lo says it's a safari theme. Well, that's in Florida. Yes. Maybe is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know what it would be in the Virginia Busch Gardens. It's worth a Google. I don't know if you've ever seen that Will Ferrell movie. It's worth a Google. Hilarious, hysterical movie. You know what? You guys are just slow tonight. I don't know. You didn't watch the video today, except for oh goodness, I'm sitting here drawing a blank now of who. Big Frog. Is it Big Frog? Yeah, Big Frog Barbecue. What's wrong with me? Big Frog Barbecue. He watched the video. Juan Thomas watched the video. Bryn G watched the video. But where were the rest of you? Dun dun dun. I'm just kidding. You shouldn't say all the time. It's bad public speaking advice. I am still waiting for the big blizzard of 2020 to arrive. Matter of fact, we bought extra face masks just in case it begins to snow. D-Lo says Europe and Virginia. Maybe it is. Debbie Paints, you need to go there. It's in Blount County, I think, and about an hour north of Gadsden. I would. I would go there. You know what happens now, Debbie? Because of where we live now, it's a good 8 hours, solid 8 hours. It can be as many as 9 hours. And if you're making great time, 7 hours from Chattanooga, because we live up in the northern part of Virginia. Not what the locals call Northern Virginia, but it's Northern Virginia. It's one of those things. We're more north than we are south by quite a ways. So
it is classic Europe.
Classic Europe.
Artfully landscaped villages like the Parisian streets
Cool.
of France, the hamlets of Scotland, and the Oktoberfest celebrations of Germany. Ooh,
that sounds like a good time. So the problem is going back down south. I usually go see my mom or some friends, family, or whatever. And I don't get a chance to get out and go around. And we've been exploring this area, this neck of the woods. It's new to Carolyn. And still, in some ways, it's new to me. In a lot of ways, places that I hadn't been to when I was a kid. So it's kind of cool. Dilo says, crazy. Someone else said that. Someone else said that. Yeah, but Dilo, you never can tell with you, man. You might be just throwing a curveball. Annabelle Porter says, hiya. Dennis Jackson is like 3 nights in a row, baby. We made it back. Boom. Good to see you, Dennis. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Annabella Porter is saying, hiya. Good to talk to you. Good to talk to you. The thing is when it comes to Busch Gardens, if we can get through 2020 and all the nonsense, I would like to take a bunch of us from the church to Busch Gardens. I'd like to go back down to Alabama and that area, just that area in general. I'm ready for another Florida trip. Nobody else in the family is, I don't think. I think that goes back and forth. Sometimes they're ready to go back to Florida and have a big vacation. Then other times they're like, man, it's hot. I don't throw curves, not allowed in my league. Adventures of Moon Man. Hey, man, what's going on? Welcome. Hey, bud. Good to see you. Busch Gardens is 30 minutes from my house. Annabelle has told us that 18 times. Yep. And that's Busch Gardens is 30 minutes from your house. And then King's Dominion it's only like 30 minutes away too, isn't it? It's not far at all. Annabelle Porter is not far. You're not far from the beach or anything, though, really. Cool thing about Virginia is it's a coastal state if you know your geography. If you don't know your geography, it's a coastal state. It's just the ocean's like right there, 4 hours away, 3 hours. The way a crow flies is probably just 2.5, but it's weird because when I was here, I thought, why can't you just go straight to the ocean from where I'm at? Why do I have to go all the way up to Virginia Beach? There's a long story behind that. It's strange, and sometime I'd love to talk about it, but it's just nuts at the way that it works. And I wish I could just get into that right now, but I'm afraid I would mess it all up. But the reality of it is that if you're at Virginia Beach, you're closer to Nags Head, North Carolina, than you are other Virginia cities. And Virginia Beach is huge. Virginia Beach is huge. When you think of Virginia Beach, don't think of that little strip there, of beach. Because Virginia Beach is a city, and it is enormous. It is absolutely monstrous. But a lovely area. I mean, it's a lovely area. People are always really nice to us. Some good seafood. You got to know where to go. Justin Thornton, who was in here earlier, he was helping us find our seafood fix up there. First time we went, didn't have good experience. And the first time we went to Nags Head, terrible experience. I'm from the South. Seafood has got to impress me because I grew up, what is Tennessee? 6.5 hours from the Gulf, and not far from Florida at all. Like you're 5 hours from the Florida state line, another hour and a half or 2, you're over at the beach. And Jacksonville, probably 6 hours from Chattanooga, maybe 7 at the most. And so we've got good seafood, a tremendous Cajun influence. So you tell me that a seafood place is good, it's got to be good. It's got to be good seafood. And Justin was the first one to actually send us to some good seafood up in the Virginia Beach area. And he actually nailed it both times. He gave us 2 recommendations, and both recommendations, I can't remember which was the best one, but both recommendations was absolutely out of this. Waterman's
was the best.
Waterman's, I think, was that the one near the pier or something? I can't remember.
It's all the way down at the south end.
So the south end of Virginia Beach, outstanding. It's going to cost you. You're going to pay for it, but good seafood you typically do. But it was out of this world. It was wonderful. Adventures of Moon Man. That's a great YouTube handle, man. Adventures of Moon Man. I just live south of Chattanooga. I don't go to the ocean much. Well, there's a lot of beachfront property in Tennessee. I mean, a lot. And the south side has those lagoons and stuff. So it's amazing. I'm going to buy some beachfront property in Tennessee soon, I believe. I love the rocky fjords around Rock City. I'm sorry. I was just going with it. Juan Thomas is finally in the house. What's up? Good to see you, Juan. I was just telling Big Frog that there were 2 of the 3 whopping comments that I had on the video I released today. Like, I did not respond to yours, and I had a response going, and I didn't get to respond to it because I got sidetracked, and I got tired. Big Frog made a comment too, and I didn't get a chance to respond, so I'm terribly sorry. Bryn made a comment, and I commented back to her, but that was earlier. Adventures of Moon Man says Harrison Bay is popular. Harrison Bay.
Well, keep reading. You mentioned Tellico.
I've been to Tellico Lake several times. Tellico Lake is awesome.
Yep.
Tellico Lake is awesome. Carolyn and I took the kids there a few times.
Yep. It was cold.
It was very cold. Very cold. We've been up to Dave D. Lowe, who's in the chat room still, I think, been up to Tellico many times. I mean, he lives just down the road from there practically. And Lord, if Carolyn and I wanted to see snow, because you don't see it in Chattanooga, you'd go to Tellico. You know, you just watch the weather, and they're going to get snow there. You know, you got mountains up at Tellico, up at Cherry skyline that's 5,000 feet and whatnot. Matter of fact, your average mountain at Cherry is higher than most of the mountains here on the Virginia Skyline Drive or on the Virginia Blue Ridge Parkway. There are no mountains. I think there's one mountain in Virginia there's a couple of mountains that over 5,000 feet. A couple or 3, not many at all. We don't have a lot of mountains in Virginia. We have a lot of mountains in Virginia, but we don't have a lot of really high mountains or really tall mountains. Is it high mountains or tall? That's another one of those things. Anyway, the point is that it's not an area known for extremely high mountains. Loft Mountain you get a lot of 4,000 footers, a lot of 4,000 footers. It says, okay, we're getting in trouble for not watching, but you didn't answer your comment. Which comment? I don't remember which one. Oh, man.
We were just talking about having not replied to him or something.
What was I talking about?
Where they commented on a recent video, and you went to reply, and you got sidetracked. That's what he's talking about.
Ooh. Hey, but I hit a heart button. I hit the heart button. You know those heart buttons are cheap. When they first came out with them, I thought, well, how do you rank a heart? I've told you this before. I tried to get, it's my goal to, until our channel's got like 100,000 views or subscribers, whatever, it's respond to everybody. Makes people feel good, makes them feel connected, respond to everybody. And just be nice. So you throw a heart out there or a thumbs up. It's like you're ranking your affirmation of the person's comment. So now I have to heart everybody because I want to. I don't want to short somebody else. If somebody says, great video, love your comment. Then somebody says, your video is okay. Does that get a heart too? Annabelle says, Joe, it was watching my video. Joe Mama. These kids are driving me crazy with this Joe Mama thing. Thank you, Carolyn Marion, for keeping Bill on track. She gives me structure. She gives me structure.
He needs it desperately.
It's hip to be square. No. It's well, that's a copyright. That's a copyright strike, or not a strike, but it's a claim. Probably so. I don't blame them. They can have it. I know. What are you going to do? So what I'm going to try to do tomorrow morning is, while we're out and about getting groceries, I'm going to try my best to give you guys a play-by-play on the blizzard conditions. Like, seriously, I'm going to try to stay signed on until it starts really coming down. That is my goal. I don't know if I can make it, but that is my goal. We're canceling some things. We had we call it a cleaning party at the church tomorrow night, and we're canceling that in lieu of the snowpocalypse. We're canceling that in lieu of the snowpocalypse. It might get pretty ugly up here as far as, well, pretty, but as far as hazardous road conditions, it is supposed to get pretty hazardous here. It's supposed to get pretty hazardous and pretty dangerous. Adventures in Moon Man. It snowed down here 2 weeks ago, but none of it stuck to the ground. Yes, that was what I call a Chattanooga blizzard, because I saw it, all the pictures of all my buddies in Chattanooga were posting it on Facebook. And I felt like one of those snobby northerners that used to make fun of my pictures when I posted them on Facebook. Going, that's not snow. That's not snow at all. This is snow, And then about that time when a northerner is talking about how pretty spring is, and we're already like in 95-degree weather, we're always making fun of like the New Englanders and Midwesterners. Southerners are always making fun of them come March, April. Come March and April, we're just giving them the hardest time because we're like swimming, playing golf. It's summer. Spring is supposed to be late January, February, okay? Because all the tulips get little yellow buttercups come up in February, little cutesy little things. And then March, man, that's like you get your blackberry winter and your different winters. I can't remember all of them right now. I made a video about them. Blackberry, dogwood, and then you have your poison ivy winter. I made that one up.
You're making
You have your poison ivy winter. You have your strawberry winter. Regardless, you have a bunch of little mini ice ages along the way. And then by May, it's 150 degrees outside.
And you can have
And I don't miss the hot weather. I don't miss the hot weather. It doesn't cool down. I've been in a deer stand before in November, and it's literally 80 degrees outside, and I'm getting carried away by mosquitoes. I don't miss that. Annabelle Porter said, "Oh, man, I was excited to be at church." Good stuff. Strong's Adventure says, "We always make fun of the folks up north saying how humid it is." It's because you're in Louisiana. Listen, man, as bad as it is, I always talk about Southeast Tennessee and Georgia. Louisiana is a special kind of hot. It's like Texas hot. It's like a Texas heat. It's like, this is hot. This is real hot. When we were out in Arizona and down in Tucson and Phoenix, that was a type of hot. It wasn't even summer yet. It was like May. And it was the first week of May. And it was so unbearably hot. Second week of May. Man, it was so unbearably hot. Just unbelievable. It's just cold winter. Adventures of Moonman says, "Not going to lie, the hottest I ever was last year in early August on this one particular day in Indiana. It was outrageously hot where I was, but I was at a festival, so no shelter." You know what? I think it's possible that in states, I don't know what part of Indiana that you're from. I think sometimes it's possible, like if you're out and rolling, like a rolling meadow, for some reason, it feels hotter. I don't know why.
I don't think isn't he the one that's from?
Well, he was in Indiana.
Gotcha.
He said he was in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lon Thomas says, "I love it here. We have all 4 seasons. Summer is a dry heat and snow in winter." I like that too. D-Lo says, "One of the hottest Mays for me was when I put on a metal roof in Cleveland." I don't remember that literally don't remember it, Dave. Don't remember it. So I just know we got a pontoon and went to Parksville. Don't remember it. Dennis Jackson says, "It's 32 degrees here now."
27 here.
It's 27 here, and it's supposed to get colder as the night progresses. I think it's supposed to drop down to 20 tonight. There is a difference between that part of Kentucky, a pretty significant difference between that part of Kentucky and up here in Virginia. Pretty significant. Even when it comes to snow and things like that. Adventures of the Moon Man says, "Also, one day in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, the heat index said feels like 107. It was so humid." South Carolina, another one of those states that, to see the best of it, you want to be there in the summer. And yet it's just too hot for me to want to go. I mean, it's just hot. We don't get a lot of people from South Carolina on this channel. I don't know why, but it's probably a good thing. D-Lo, being on a roof in the summer is brutal. D-Lo's been on quite a few roofs in the summer. He has. He is not to go into too much detail. He's got a pretty successful roofing company down there in East. Very proud of him. He's down in East Tennessee. I'd say I think in his family, I bet they put close to 1 million roofs on. It's a pretty impressive company down there. Metal, and they put metal roofs, rock roofs. They even put rocks on roofs. They just make. I'm making that up again. Adventures in Moon Man. Also, one day. Same comment. Sorry. Strong's Adventure says, "D-Lo, I keep reading the same comments, guys. I'm sorry."
Go to Juan Thomas.
Juan Thomas, 27 now. Low will be 15 tonight. Woohoo! That's cold.
That's cold.
Colorado was absolute. There was something one time. The minivan that we rented from the worst car rental company ever, Thrifty Car Rental. If I haven't said that already, remind me. I'll say it several more times. The temperature gauge said that it was 24 degrees, and I am telling you, it had to be colder than 24. It had to be. I had a thick coat on, and it was just whipping through the coat like it was nothing. I think we were at that moment we were at 12,000 feet. It was in Rocky Mountain National Park, and I think we were 12,000 or 13,000 feet. And you couldn't. I didn't have gloves on either, which made it that much worse. Strong's Adventure one time just shivered. I can't talk tonight. Shivered reading that. It's funny to hear people talk about weather, and everybody's got their story about that one hot time or this one hot time or that how cold it was at this other time. And you'd think that when somebody says it's 27 degrees, that it means 27 degrees across the board, or 25 degrees or 20 degrees. But doesn't it feel like that sometimes the temperature says one thing, but you feel colder for some reason than that if it says the same thing at another time, it feels the exact same ways. Currently 45 degrees at the homestead. Yeah, of course it is. Adventures of Moon Man. It's 45 degrees at the homestead because you're in the valley down there, close to the valley, and yeah, it's warm. I was telling Carolyn that every time that you'd think you were going to get snow, if it wasn't cold enough, it had to be super cold. It couldn't just be 30. It had to be colder than 30 to snow in the Tennessee Valley, because as soon as the clouds would roll in, it would warm up because most of your moisture is coming in from the Gulf. So it was crazy. Juan Thomas says, tomorrow we'll be in Phoenix and sweating my rear end off. That's what I love about Arizona. You just drive 3 or 4 hours for something different. I love that. Different. Well, I love that. I was talking to my buddy tonight, Nathan, about that he went out there and we were both talking about that, how you can just drive a few hours, 2 or 3 hours, and you're in a completely different atmosphere, a completely different weather thing going on. I loved it. Rain, snow, whatever the case is, you can have whatever you want if you drive around.
We went from, I'm pretty sure the weather forecast for the day that we landed in Phoenix was supposed to be 103. And by the time we got to Grand Canyon, there was snow on the ground.
Yeah, it was 103 in Phoenix. By the time we got to the Grand Canyon, there was snow on the ground, and we had a pretty inch. For us, it was a pretty inch. Again, we were living in Chattanooga at the time, so for us, it was a good snow. I think it was 4 inches, but I mean, for that area, it was nothing. But 4 inches of snow in May, second week of May, and it was common. It was normal. Adventures of Moonland said, "I've never been out west. I'd love to change that."
Oh, you must go.
Again, same guy I was talking to tonight. He took his family out west. I told him for years, I'm like, look, take your family out west. Out west is great. Out west is great. Not that back east isn't wonderful. It is wonderful out here, or back here, whatever. But out west is, I mean, people come from all over the world to see the states out west, to see Arizona, to see New Mexico, to see Utah, and so on. And it's, I totally forget where I was going with that. I'm so sorry.
He was saying he wants to go out west.
Thank you. She's giving it structure again. So in going out to go out west, it just doesn't cost that much money, especially right now. Now listen, we're not supposed to be traveling right now, so I'm not recommending traveling. But
travel away, my friends.
But if there was a reason you needed to go out there anyway, like for your health, whatever,
for your mental stability,
for your mental health, you needed to go out there. You can get inexpensive plane tickets out there right now. You can like jump and get a ticket for like nothing. I think it only cost us, if I'd have booked it in time, which is 30 days out, you need 30 days out. It was only $100 a ticket to fly into Colorado. But I recommend going to Arizona. Listen, Colorado is amazing. But I recommend Arizona and getting a rent-a-car and staying a week, and you're going to love it. You'll thank me. You'll come back on the channel. You'll be like, I'm sponsoring your next video with all the money I saved by listening to your travel advice. or you'll be like, it's terrible. I used Thrifty Car Rental Company. And it was miserable. Don't use Thrifty Car Rental Company. Adventures of Moon Man. Maybe in 2022. Planning to be in the Midwest a lot in 2021, if possible. Yes, I have a festival I'm planning. I'm going to in 2022 in Colorado. Lots of festivals in Colorado. Lots of festivals. Well, listen, guys, I hate to cut it short tonight, but I'm planning on being back with you guys again tomorrow morning. And I do appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I'm a little lethargical tonight. I apologize. I've worked hard today on a bunch of stuff, so please forgive me. But tomorrow was going to be a whole lot different, so I hope to see you soon. Thank you guys for coming by tonight. Vlogmas has been different this year. It's kind of tough. It's all so much different, but hey, it's going to be great, and it's not even over yet. We'll see you guys tomorrow.